Welcome back, family. Before the video starts, I just want to thank all my channel members for the support. Hillary Clinton confronted on UFO disclosure.
When your husband was president, it was Lawrence Rockefeller had an effort to try to disclose UFOs, UAPs. When you were running for president, John Podesta publicly stated that you would disclose these files if given the chance, if you had been president. Are you pleased to see that these files may be disclosed finally?
I am pleased. As I say, I think they have to be carefully scrutinized so that no national security information is disclosed. But this is an issue of real importance to so many people, and I think whatever can be disclosed should be disclosed.
Was there a program that specifically that was referencing that you were aware of?
I was not. As you mentioned, John Podesta, who was one of my advisors, was deeply interested in the issue, and if I had been elected, I certainly would have listened to his advice.
Well, thank you for indulgence on that.
This is sort of like off subject, but didn't you all require in the latest defense authorization that the UFO information has to be?
Out.
What?
They ripped it out. They killed it.
Oh, yeah, I thought that had gone through.
That was my amendment, and it got ripped out.
Oh, okay. Well, you've just, I didn't know that, so thank you for enlightening me. Okay.
Yeah, they've been killing it.
I didn't know that.
Next up's Representative Perry from Pennsylvania.
Have you ever denied access, or did you ever inquire on the topic of UAP or Gilgamesh in your official or personal capacity, and why?
I was never denied access because I never asked for access.
Okay. In the efforts of having a transparent government and restoring faith within our country, do you believe that the American people deserve access to those topics?
I do. Subject to any national security implications, I think the information should be made available. I think that's been ordered, or at least I read that it had been ordered.
Bro, I don't know how we went from Epstein files, from Pizzagate to UFOs. Like, we don't need to ask Hillary Clinton about UFOs.
What would you do if 2 hours of your life just vanished? This creepy true story comes from Mike. When he was 12 years old, he was at a football game at the local high school. He wanted to be home in time for a TV show that started at 9:30 p.m., so he and a friend left with plenty of time to make it back. As they were walking home, just minutes away from his house, the entire sky lit up bright orange. The whole sky glowed for a few seconds, and then it went completely back to normal. Mike and his friend both saw it and were completely confused about what had just happened. Mike walked in his front door expecting to catch the TV show, but instead his parents were standing there, furious. "Why are you out so late?" asked his mom. Mike was confused. He had left early. Then his mom pointed to the clock. It was 11:30 p.m. More than 2 whole hours had passed, and he had absolutely no memory of them. Over 30 years later, Mike was out camping in the woods when 3 owls began circling his campsite and behaving strangely. Suddenly, a voice entered his head that didn't feel like his own. It told him that the owls are connected to that experience that he had when he was a child. Mike would go on to spend decades researching the strange connection between paranormal encounters and owls. And what he uncovered was far bigger and stranger than he could have ever imagined. If you want the full story, Mike's episode of Tell Me Your Ghost Story podcast is called The Messengers, and you can find it on all podcast platforms now.
I'm along South Water Street in the city of Newburgh at the scene of last night's emergency plane landing in the Hudson River. And you can see that aircraft is still sitting in the icy water here. This is video I just took showing that Cessna that lost engine power after taking off from Long Island with 2 people on board. That plane went down just after 8 last night, south of the Newburgh Beacon Bridge. Air traffic control audio captures the moment the pilot declared an emergency and said he'll have to land on the water. Take a listen.
We've lost our engine. We're going to go into the Hudson. Take your airfield, say that again, please. We're going into the Hudson River. I don't think we're going to make the airport.
A pilot flying nearby sent us this video moments after the emergency landing when he heard that Mayday call, diverted, and helped authorities pinpoint the plane's exact location.
It was really dark, so it was hard to tell if they were on land or if they were still in the water. And once we got close enough, we were able to see that they were in patches of ice. So we didn't know if their plane was sinking and was like under the ice, or if it was, or not under the ice, but just like right over the ice. But never looked like anyone exited the airplane when we were there.
Miraculously, both people on board were able to get out on their own, according to police, and were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. State police say the National Transportation Safety Board is now coordinating removal of the plane. Check out my social media pages for updates throughout the day.
Yeah, that reminded me of this one incident where they had to land a passenger plane on the Hudson. Yeah, those are remarkable moments, but good thing he managed to land it safely without like anyone dying, because I know like planes laying on water, although water sounds soft, can still be a catastrophic incident.
This Japanese guy paid rent on an empty house for 26 years, and it actually helped him solve his wife's murder. You see, in 1999, Satoru Takaba was away from home when his wife Namiko was attacked by an unknown intruder. Since Namiko had no real enemies and nothing was even stolen from their home, the local police just couldn't solve the case. Even after interviewing countless people and offering an award for information, they still had zero leads. So the case was eventually left unsolved, but Satoru himself just refused to give up. Although he also had no idea who would want to harm his wife, Satoru figured that at some point in the future, there would be good enough technology to finally get an answer. So even though he and his 2-year-old son quickly moved out of their house, he actually decided to keep the entire crime scene perfectly preserved and just keep paying rent until his wife's murderer was finally captured. As years soon turned to decades, Satoru still refused to give up and never stopped posting flyers in the area. And after 26 years and almost $150,000 spent, just last fall, the Japanese police were finally able to match the DNA in Satoru's house to a local woman named Kumiko Yasufuku, who quickly confessed. As it turns out, Kumiko actually had a crush on Satoru in high school, but even though he politely rejected her, she had apparently been secretly stalking him for years and still wanted to be with him. Satoru never expected it to be her, but he said all those years of rent were finally proven worthwhile.
Schlitterbahn Waterpark disaster. On August 7, 2016, the Schwab family left church on Sunday morning and headed to Schlitterbahn Waterpark in Kansas City, Kansas. Scott Schwab, a state representative, had received free admission for Elected Officials Day. His wife Michelle and their 4 sons piled into the car. It was supposed to be a perfect family day, until a happy moment turned into something that had hurt them for life. When they arrived at the park around midday, Caleb and Nathan immediately spotted the massive structure towering over everything else, the Verrückt. The water slide stood 168 feet tall, 17 stories.
That's tall.
The name Verrückt meant insane in German. Caleb turned to his parents with excitement in his eyes. He wanted to ride it. The 2 boys ran toward the massive slide. They joined the line and began the climb. At the top, the ride operators checked riders for weight requirements. Each raft held 3 people.
Yeah.
The combined weight had to be between 400 and 550 pounds. The operators split Nathan and Caleb into different rafts to meet the requirements. Nathan went first and came back soaked and exhilarated. Then, Caleb stepped into the next raft. He was placed in the front seat. 2 adult women sat in the middle and back positions. Caleb weighed only 74 pounds. Ride operators secured the restraints. As the raft attempted to climb the second hill, something went wrong. It went airborne. The raft launched off the slide surface completely. Caleb collided with the metal hoops and netting around 50 feet from the ground. The impact was severe that he appeared to be decapitated.
What?
He was struck by one of the metal poles. The force killed him instantly. The raft continued down without him. The 2 women were screaming as blood covered their faces and bodies. Nathan, waiting at the bottom, saw the raft come through. He saw the 2 women covered in blood, but he did not see his brother. Then he saw Caleb's body, lying dead in the water at the end of the ride.
Yo, Chad, that took like the craziest turn of all time. What? Yo, I usually think water parks are harmless. That just proves that even like the chillest ride, I mean, that wasn't so chill, but even like the rides you perceive as potentially chill, you could be dead.
NASA just finds spiders on Mars? Okay, so you know when like spiders make a web and there's this massive crisscrossing of webs? Now imagine that, but instead of thread, it's rock. And instead of a corner on the ceiling of your bedroom, it's 12 miles across. That's what NASA found on Mars. They're called boxwork ridges. Now, scientists first saw these from orbit in 2006, so we've known about them for a while. But we recently got close enough to look at them properly. And that's when shit gets weird. We have a Mars rover called the Curiosity. Fun fact, my husband helped get it onto Mars. Anyway, when it got close enough to these ridges, we discovered something that no one expected. There are little egg-shaped lumps all over these things. They kind of look like a freaking egg. Scientists quite literally cannot explain it at all. Not even kind of. And wait, that's that's not all. A completely separate Mars rover, the Perseverance, that was driving around a different part of Mars that's called Witch Hazel Hill, and it found a rock. A rock just sitting there, covered in hundreds of tiny little dark spheres, clustered together. Clustered like freaking spider eggs! What if Martians are just spiders? Spider-like creatures? Also, what did David Bowie know? And there's something that actually makes it worse. It didn't form where it's sitting. It formed somewhere and then was moved.
It's crazy.
There's no explanation for how it got there.
This may look like an ordinary class photo.
This may look like an ordinary class photo, but if you take a closer look, you might see someone that seems like they don't belong. And according to the students in this photo, that's because she wasn't actually there. Today I'm going to tell you one of the most haunting urban legends from the state of Texas. If you're new here, make sure to follow along, comment the state you want covered next, and the top comment will be the one I do in the next video. And if you want to hear more about the sightings connected to this legend, check out my videos for subscribers only. El Paso High School is the oldest operating high school in the city and was established back in 1916. The building's basement is a labyrinth with long, narrow hallways that have sealed off classrooms still perfectly preserved as they were a century ago, yet mysteriously abandoned with no clear explanation why. Another section of the basement was once used as a temporary morgue during the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic, so it's no surprise that over the years, staff and students have reported eerie, unexplainable occurrences. When stories of the same woman dressed in white began to overlap, people started to wonder if they were all seeing the same apparition. Students have reported seeing her standing silently over the balcony. Some have claimed to see her reenact her tragic death, jumping from the balcony only to disappear before hitting the ground and disintegrating into a cloud of mist. These sightings became so frequent that many began connecting her to a tragic legend of a former student who is said to have jumped to her death from the balcony during a winter dance. And the stairway leading to this area of the school has reportedly been sealed off due to the frequency of these sightings. The school's principal once claimed that he watched a girl in a white dress rise up out of the fog from the top of the bleachers before walking out of the auditorium. The theater director once described entering the dark auditorium to grab something he'd forgotten. Halfway down the aisle, he got goosebumps and felt as if someone were watching him. When he turned around, he saw a woman in an old-fashioned dress sitting perfectly still in one of the seats. The 1985 yearbook photo is just one piece of photographic evidence proving her existence. Over the years, she's appeared in the background of multiple pictures, always seen standing in the window as if something is keeping her from leaving.
Breaking news, conflict enters Asia. Bro, I swear to God, we're like literally heading for World War III if we're not already in it. I'm pretty sure we are already in it at this point.
Okay guys, major breaking news. This war has now officially entered Asia. We're unlocking new parts of this map every day, so 140 people are currently missing after a US submarine has sunk an Iranian Navy ship with a torpedo in international waters off the coast of Sri Lanka. Now, important detail, this is the first time that America has sunk an enemy ship using a torpedo since World War II. And if you guys are wondering where Sri Lanka is, here. This is the Indian Ocean. Everything that's usually been happening, kind of the war zone of 3,000 miles, was about here. Now, we're entering this territory. Ain't no way. Now, this was confirmed by the U.S. Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, saying that America is winning decisively, devastatingly, and without mercy. 180 people were reportedly on this boat. Ship. It's not a boat. And so far, 32 people have been rescued, with 140 more currently missing. I think we kind of get the point of what's happened to them. I'll keep you guys updated as we know more. Okay, guys, breaking news. NATO is now involved. They have just said that one of the member states has been targeted by Iran. So according to Turkey's defense ministry, they said that NATO air defense systems had to shoot down an Iranian missile that was traveling towards their airspace. And a fragment of that missile has fallen into an open area in southern Turkey. Now, fortunately for the escalation of this war, there was no loss of life or injuries reported. A NATO spokesperson has come out and told CNN that they condemn Iran's targeting of Turkey, and they said that they stand firmly with all allies. Turkey's defense ministry then said said that we reiterate that we reserve our right to respond to any hostile act directed towards our country. This is believed to be the first time that NATO has got involved. History yet again.
Israel is the reason for this war. America does not want to fight this war for Israel. Let's go. Come on, let's go. America does not want to send its sons and daughters to war for Israel. Your inability to name that shows your exemptness as leaders. This is wrong. And nobody wants to fight for Israel.
A reminder to all of our
Commandant, please stand up as a Marine and stand up for America. No one wants to fight for Israel.
Oh! Chat. His hand just broke.
Sir, thank you for your service.
The senator broke his hand. The senator broke his hand.
He's a Marine. Somebody come help him.
Control your Senate committee.
Look at you guys. You're robots.
Oh my god.
You won't even look back. Look at you guys. You're like robots. Oh my god, what is happening? And you're not even looking back. Any of you 4-star generals. Oh my god, what is happening right now? Eyes front, robots. Shame.
Yo, shout out to that Marine, bro, because he's right. No one wants to fight this garbage ass war. But bro, these people, bro, they're such bots. Like, I don't know, something about that clip just irritated my soul. Like, how y'all just gonna sit there and just ignore everything behind you? Like, are you that brain cooked? Like, my biggest thing, bro, is like, with this war, we should send every senator, every president, every person that wants this war, including Netanyahu's family, we should send all of their sons and daughters into the war. Like, front line, like, no, like, reserves, no, like, maintenance crew. Front line, because they want the war, right? So why not let your people fight the war?
We have breaking news. The Pentagon has released the first 4 identities of the U.S. soldiers killed in the war against Iran. Captain Cody Cork, 35 of Lakeland, Florida. Sergeant First Class Nicola Moore, 39 of White Bear Lake, Minnesota. Sergeant First Class Noah Tietjens, 42 of Bellevue, Nebraska. And Sergeant Declan Cody, 20 of Des Moines, Iowa. These soldiers were in the Army Reserves assigned to the 103rd Sustainment Command in Des Moines, Iowa. Horrible. How did they die? On Sunday at around 9 a.m., they were in a command center at a port in Kuwait. It was inside a large fortified trailer, and a single one-way Iranian attack drone hit and killed them. 6 in total were killed, but the Pentagon has only released the names of these 4 so far. The base had air defense weapons, right? How did it miss the drone? I guess these small drones that fly low to the ground evade traditional detection methods, and that's what happened with this one. No detection and no sirens, so soldiers didn't even have the opportunity to take cover. Is there a plan to deal with these low-flying drones in the future? The Pentagon has been experimenting with new ways to take down drones, including using a high-energy laser, but obviously for this one, those methods failed. Wow.
They've claimed that it's over like 500 people. Some are even saying 1,000 people that have died, and not like the 4 to 5 that claim that died. Obviously, they're not going to tell us this in the U.S. Like, they're going to try to minimize it as much as possible. But according to like sources outside the U.S., like in the EU, or like the European nations, they claim that it's like 500 to 1,000 U.S. soldiers that have passed from this war. This is how they drafted 19-year-olds for war at random, by choosing a bunch of birthdays. Was your birthday selected? So in the comment, guys are gonna put up a bunch of dates. Let me know if your guys' birthday was selected. If you were 19 back and whenever they did this draft, let me know if you would have been selected. I'm gonna let y'all know at the end of it. Let's see if they see mine.
Of course, is the order of the birthdays. And those will determine how
look at those numbers. Those are all numbers.
Next year, those from 19 to 26 will
19 to 26, child. Let me know.
Let's go down the list and give you the ascending order in which they were drawn tonight. We'll take them in blocks of 5, from the lowest number up to the highest. September 14th, April 24th, December 30th, February 14th. October 18th, September 6th, October 26th, September 7th, November 22nd, December 6th, August 31st, December 7th, July 8th, April 11th, July 12th, December 29th, January 15th. This is ascending order. Each man posts them as they are given to him. Number 18 is September 26th, November 1st, June 4th, August 10th, June 26th, July 24th, October 5th, February 19th, December 14th, July 21st, June 5th, March 2nd, March 31st, May 24th, April 1st, March 17th, November 2nd. These are in ascending order. It is generally agreed, stipulated by the Selective Service people, that those men with the lowest numbers, the lowest third, will be drafted. So for number 35, it is May 7th, August 24th, May 11th, October 30th, December 11th, May 13th, December 10th, July 13th, December 9th, August 16th, August 2nd, November 11th, November 27th, August 8th, September 3rd, July 7th, November 7th.
Yeah.
The middle group, that is the group with the numbers between about 120 and 240, stand about a 50-50 chance of being drafted next year.
50-50.
Number 52 is January 25th. December 22nd, August 5th, May 16th, December 5th, February 23rd, January 19th, January 24th, June 21st, August 29th, April 21st, September 20th, June 27th, May 10th, November 12th, July.
So on the list, I didn't really see my birthday, which is February 4th, so I guess I wasn't drafted. But I saw like 3 different of my friends' birthdays, so you know what I'm saying? They sadly would have been drafted. Justin, the United States might lose the war against Iran. I've heard about this a lot of the times. I mean, technically, we didn't really lose because we did eliminate like their supreme leaders 2 to 3 times over. But in terms of like not giving up and like who could probably fight longer without it being super catastrophic, it might be Iran. It might be, only because of the fact that Iran doesn't seem to want to give up or even like come to a peace agreement, because they're pretty much like done. Like they have nothing else to really lose because they've lost the most. It's like, you got to look at it. If you're fighting a country with nothing to lose and you have everything to lose, because America is like this well-established first world country with all these billion-dollar corporations. So America has a lot to lose. So if Iran has nothing to lose and America has everything to lose, if Iran somehow gets their hands on a nuke via like North Korea, because I've heard that Kim Jong-un negotiated with them to give them nukes, but they denied it via whatever the hell. If Iran manages to eliminate a good amount of Americans, you know what I'm saying? It's going to look devastating on our end compared to Iran, which literally has nothing else to lose. So I think Iran kind of has the advantage, although they're kind of disadvantaged in my opinion.
The United States needs to stop underestimating Iran, because they just took out one of the most important CIA stations in Saudi Arabia with over 100 people inside with some of the most important intel. Look.
Official sources confirmed that a suspected Iranian drone has hit a CIA station in Saudi Arabia's capital. Jennifer Griffin is live in Washington. Jennifer, what do we know?
Well, Jessica, we've confirmed with an official source that, in fact, it was an Iranian drone that struck the station, the CIA station in Riyadh. It was part of that U.S. Embassy compound, part of that drone strike last night that led to damage at the embassy.
So if you think the United States is doing all of this damage, you are sadly mistaken, because Iran is doing just as much damage right back to the United States. And they're not going to come out and tell you that their back is against the wall. That's not how they're going to go about it. But you have to stay updated with real-time information. So what you need to do is follow me for more to stay updated.
Like I said, chat, America has a lot to lose. Iran has nothing to lose. They already lost their supreme leader and they're still fighting. So at the end of the day, if for some reason Iran does end up having a nuke that America doesn't know about, or does end up getting donated a nuke via North Korea or whatever, it might not be able to reach America as of now, but like, for example, military bases we have in certain different countries might get impacted by that nuke. Close-up footage of a pilot flying from an aircraft carrier to conduct an airstrike on Iran. Obviously, they're not going to show them bombing Iran, but we're going to see, like, you know what I'm saying, the flight there. Flies so effortlessly. It's so crazy. I think those fighter jets that that America has are so cool, bro. They're so crazy. Like, they just glide through the air like it's nothing. Point of view, someone's stalking you and now they're trying to break in at 3 a.m. Hell no.
What is it?
Ryan, tell me!
What are you talking about?
What the hell? That looks like one of those pranks that you would prank on like your little kid, like your little sibling or something, or like, you know what I'm saying, if you have kids. You'd put like a mannequin head and like stack them and then like put a hoodie on, so it just looks like this huge ass thing with no facial features but like a head. That's what it looked like to me.
I'm in Washington, D.C. right now, and I want to visualize for you what it would look like if a nuclear weapon landed on the nation's capital. So, for our scenario, there is a nuclear weapon headed towards the city right now.
Wow.
A large nuclear weapon flying, headed towards Washington, D.C. The actual bomb is actually in here. This cone that's about 2 meters tall, 6 feet. It's falling back into the atmosphere. Here it comes. And then, for a moment, right here is the hottest thing in our solar system, hotter than the sun.
Wow.
100 million degrees Celsius as it expands out. Everything around it turns into dust. I mean, smaller than dust. Atoms are ripped apart. This fireball instantly vaporizes everything within a half-a-mile radius.
Wouldn't even feel it.
And here comes the blast wave.
Ooh.
A wall of high-pressure air that is moving faster than the speed of sound. It creates wind behind it that is faster than anything ever observed in nature. Everything within 2.5 miles is leveled. And then there's the heat wave, which burns everything within 5 miles. Nearly everyone in this city is either dead or severely injured. Everything that can be on fire is now on fire as this huge mushroom cloud rises into the air, dragging with it a storm of dust, dirt, and debris. But this isn't normal dust anymore. The bomb has done something to it, to its atoms, making them fall apart in slow motion, shooting out invisible, deadly energy. This poison dust drifts all across this region. It clings to soil and plants and people hundreds of miles away. These poisoned atoms will keep firing off radiation for years, for decades, centuries, even thousands of years. This is a disaster that humans made, and that was just for one of these cones. A rocket fired from an American submarine can carry 8 of these cones at once. If all of those hit one target, it would be a much worse situation. A lot of global politics centers around this, making sure this does not happen. But everything I just showed you is very possible. We have the capabilities to do this right now. And in fact, a lot of countries have their finger on the trigger, able to launch one of these at a moment's notice.
That's what I'm trying to say, chat. Like, there's no real reason to even do that, because if they're launching nukes, they're not just going to launch one nuke, like what happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. after the Pearl Harbor incident, they're not going to launch just one nuke. They're going to launch like 8, 10, 15, 20, if they really wanted to, 1,000 at once. It's going to be literal, a whole devastation. And for example, if we do launch like the biggest nuke ever recorded, I think like the Tsar Bomba or whatever that Russia had, dude, like 4 to 8 of those bombs could wipe out all of California, like literally the entire state of California. So it's just like, nukes just make no sense to me. Like, it doesn't benefit anybody.
So Israel uploaded this video recently claiming that they are obliterating the Iranian Air Force. The only problem is that this was literally a painting of a helicopter that was put on the ground as a decoy. If you watch closely, you can see that the rotors don't spin or anything. Happened. It's literally just a painting. I guess Iran has mastered the art of Wile E. Coyote warfare. And there are videos like this all across the internet right now, because I guess before the war, Iran knew that Israel was going to attack, so they moved most of their air force underground. And then above ground, they painted a bunch of pictures of fighter jets and military helicopters to use as decoys, which the Israelis have completely fallen for. This is what happens when you try to take on a country that's been preparing for this war for like 40 years now. And this is what I've been trying to tell people about war with Iran. This is not a country like Libya, Syria, or Iraq that can't really defend itself. The Iranians have serious military capacity, and they've been strategizing for this for years. Their country has powerful weapons, and it's built like a literal fortress. I think when this is all over, the Trump administration and the Israelis are going to be sitting on one big fat L.
Yeah, like I'm saying, everyone thinks that we're going to lose this war, dude. It's crazy. It's like a Vietnam 2.0.
Another conspiracy theory that's going to blow your mind? Let's do it. The day before 9/11, Rumsfeld gave a press conference where he talked about trillions of dollars missing. Then a plane slams into the very part of the building where they were doing the accounting. You have to see it. What the did he just say?
According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions.
What? Yo, they need to give me some of that money. Y'all can't track. Bro, the USB is just losing money. Like, you ever thought about that one person that, like, they pull up to you, like, yeah, bro, I just lost like $20, $100. That's like the US, both billions and trillions of dollars. Like, how do you just lose $2.3 trillion? Like, where does that go? Like, it went somewhere. It didn't just disappear into thin air like this. It went somewhere. Someone took that. 15 monitors at BBC's office.
So someone actually got video of what it looks like inside the BBC News office. And before I show you the video, I'm just going to let you know now, it's actually insane. I kid you not, I counted the monitors. Each employee has 15 screens up and running all at once. Honestly, it's very impressive. I did not know setups could get this crazy, and 15 monitors for the news makes a lot of sense. And I gotta know, is this overkill? People in the news industry or people who know any news people, is this way too many monitors? We got 15 up. I feel like they could probably get by with 3, but I'm not the expert.
Chat, I definitely feel like that's overkill. Like, you don't need 15 monitors. At max, you could do like, you know what I'm saying, 3 at most if you really need it. You know what I'm saying? If you want to rank up a little bit, maybe 4, but like, do you really need 4 monitors?
So this is a video of the U.S. firing missiles towards Iran. Wow. Each of these missiles cost about $1.7 million. That's a lot, and around 200 were launched on the first day of the war, which is about $340 million just on missiles. Now this is a breakdown of the costs incurred by the U.S. on the first day of the war. And the total is estimated to be around $779 million, which includes bombers, fighter jets, naval assets, and etc. And no, this doesn't include the 3 fighter jets that were shot down in friendly fire and ended up costing $351 million. So as of today, there are some estimates that put the total cost of the war incurred by the US at around $5 billion. And meanwhile, this is how the streets of LA look.
Yeah, chat, if you're an American citizen right now and you want to know where a lot of your tax-paying dollars are going, you can look at it right here. Let me pull it up for you guys. As you can see, a little bit of your taxpayer money went to Tomahawk missiles. A little bit of your taxpayer money went to support recon HIMARS. A little bit went to carrier groups, a little bit went to fighter jets, and a little bit went to B-2 stealth bombers. So I just want y'all to know that you are funding this war with your money. And I don't know, America is one of those places. I mean, maybe every other country does this. I don't really know, but like, first, like, you get a paycheck, right? Your paycheck gets taxed. Then they tax you off of anything you buy. They tax you off of anything you sell. They tax you at the end of the year after they taxed you. Like, it's crazy.
What happened in
I seen him. Something happened to him.
They say they got Jim. He do look different, though. I ain't gonna lie.
He do.
Like they got aliens abducted him.
No. Listen to what Jim Carrey had to say.
If I ever shave my face again, you'll know.
No way.
And I was like, I'm dead.
No, you're not.
My favorite funny face is the one I'm wearing right now.
No. Forget all that. Who's this? Who is this guy right here? Because everybody knows that this is not Jim Carrey. I mean, are you serious? Shh. Shut up! Look. Who is this, dogs? People are saying that Alexis Stone was playing his character. Why all of a sudden they would say that? Because people knew it wasn't Jim Carrey. So somebody that does costumes and makeup had to say it was them to throw us off. This is what people are saying. I think this is Jim Carrey and he's new and improved. Damn, I miss you, Jim Carrey. You was always speaking up, bro. It was only a matter of time till they pulled this crap. Remember, shh, it's a secret. Jim Carrey knows. He knows, and we don't know where he's at. The real one. We know where the fake one's at. He was just in Paris. But look what we have here. Shh. Shut up! Listen. We knew it. Jim Carrey was transforming right here. He was turning into the other Jim Carrey. So when he came out, it started to look normal. This is what people are saying, but I don't believe none of that stuff. I'm just playing around, guys. Entertainment purposes only. This is Jim Carrey, bro. This is Jim Carrey. He's good. Come on. Why people always thinking stuff like that? I really don't know. I do know. But you need to let me know. I'm out.
Do I have your attention now?
So, does this confirm that the Jim Carrey that we saw at the award ceremony isn't the real Jim Carrey? And that it was a whole ploy to market this movie coming out in 2027? I need answers. Someone help me in the comments, please.
Honestly, I wouldn't doubt that because celebrities love to do these stunts just to like promote certain things, so I wouldn't doubt it. Man nearly crushed after malfunctioning elevator suddenly drops as he steps out in terrifying CCTV footage. What the hell? This is why I don't like elevators, chat. I do not like elevators. Oh! It didn't look like it dropped. It looked like it went up. Like it kind of malfunctioned, opened the door, then went up. You know what I'm saying? He got out completely safe. He wasn't harmed. It looked a little bit uncomfortable at first, like he was about to get absolutely obliterated. But nah, he got out safe. I'm happy he did, though, because if... that'd be like a Final Destination type death if he didn't.
Breaking news, the Israeli Air Force has just reported their first air-to-air kill against a manned aircraft. An F-35 has reportedly shot down a Yak-130. This is the first shoot-down in history of a manned fighter by an F-35. It reportedly happened over the skies of Tehran. Beyond that, we don't know much, but hopefully they'll release footage of it soon.
Creepy Real Photos That Keep Me Up at Night Part 84. This photo was sent to a news station, and the owner of the photo said, "My 3-year-old son was trying to take a picture of me. He didn't realize the camera was backward. He took several photos within seconds of each other. I grabbed the camera back when he was done and started erasing the photos to make space. The first 2 images were blurry duds. But when I got to the 3rd picture, there was a startling face behind his. I've never seen this person in my life, and we were the only 2 home." Follow for more creepy real photos.
This man missed a flight to say goodbye to his dying grandfather, and what he did next cost him his life. He was trying to get to Denver to see him one last time, but he reached the gate just minutes too late. Panic took over. He started running frantically through the terminal, refusing to accept the plane was gone. Then things escalated. He forced his way through a restricted exit and ran onto the runway, straight toward the aircraft as it began to take off. But he got too close to one of the engines and got sucked in.
Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Sam Altman, and Larry Ellison all have underground bunkers, like multi-million-dollar underground bunkers.
Yeah.
So my theory is they're either lizards and prefer to live underground.
But it is going to bother you because you're human, and I was human. I am human, still.
What an odd thing to say. Or they're vampires because they don't like the sun. Or they just know something that we don't, and that feels like insider trading in its own way. Whatever. This is my driver. I feel like there's something more to this. Why do they all have complexes? Underground. What are you hiding from? Or what are you planning to hide from? Whatever. It's not whatever. I just don't have enough money to...
The thing about these people is that they have so much money that they genuinely could just build underground bunkers just because they want to. I mean, obviously, like, they might know things that we don't, but I think that they have underground bunkers just in case something does happen, that they just have like a safe place to go. You know what I'm saying? If you have like, if I had like $10 billion and I had the opportunity to build an underground bunker, I would do it. And if you also had $10 billion and had the opportunity to build an underground bunker, you would also do it. So that's probably what they did. I mean, obviously, if a war ended up breaking out, they're obviously going to go to the underground bunker. So I guess it's beneficial to them.